Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be weaving on a loom. This right here is your loom. It's got the notches at the top and the bottom. We're going to be using this loom to weave a pouch. This is like a mini pouch. We're going to be making one that's wider than that and a little bit deeper. Okay. The warp, this is another vocabulary word for weaving. The warp is the strings that we're going to be putting on our loom to weave in and out of. Okay, so this is the warp, and the weft, that is the yarn that we're going to be weaving across and around and around. Okay, so let's get started. First we need to warp onto our loom. So you're going to take some string, yarn, I guess we're going to use yarn today, and you'll probably want a piece of tape. Grab my tape here to hold it in place. I'm going to take off two pieces. One, two. Okay, now one of them I'm going to use on this side here. So I'm going to start up at the top here. I'm going to just tape this down, and I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to come down to the first notch on this side right here and go to the second notch. And I'm just going to keep doing that, going all the way over the top to the back side, and then into the next notch, to the top, around to the back side. You're just going to keep doing that. You want to have your warp on both this side and this side, so you have to keep going around. Alright, now I'm back to the last notch, so I'm going to need that last piece of tape. And I don't want to tape down any of my warp strings, but I do need to tape the end of this one, so I'm going to put a little tape on it and put that tape underneath my warp. Okay, so that's where that goes, and then you can snip off that extra bit. Okay, so I have a little piece of tape here and here. A good idea, so that we don't lose track of whose is whose, is to take a Sharpie and on that first piece of tape write your name, so we know, in case this ever gets set somewhere in the room, we'll know whose it is. Okay, so I know this is mine. Alright, now I'm ready to start weaving. So we are going to use our weft to weave back and forth, and if we were not doing a pouch, we would just weave this way and this way and this way, but we're going to make it into a pouch. So we're going to start this way, and then we're going to flip it over and continue to weave here, and then keep turning and weave here, and we're just going to keep weaving. Now you can choose to use a popsicle stick for weaving, or you can use one of these plastic needles. Either one is fine. You might be lucky enough to find your color that you want already on a popsicle stick, and this works really good for weaving. But if you do not find the color that you want, you can just get a piece of what color you want to use. So you can either do this, you can tape it to your popsicle stick like this, and just weave it through. And I'll show you what to do here. So when you start, you're going to pull your string all the way through. So you're just going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under that one, over that one, under that one, over that one. Each time going under, over, like so. Pull it through, and you're going to pull it all the way through until all that's left is a little tail. So this might be a lot for me to work with. You get to decide. Got a little knot in here. That's not good. But if you do decide to use this long of a piece, you're going to be pulling it a long ways through. I think I'm going to make mine shorter. I'm just going to use this much. Okay. So you're going to pull it all the way through until you have just a little tail sticking out. So there we go. There's my little tail. I'm just going to leave that right there and push it up nice and tight against the top. Okay. Then I'm going to go, instead of going back on this side, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to weave under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, all the way across this side. Okay, and then pull it through. Pull it all the way through. Now, don't pull it so hard that you pull your little tail. This first one is pretty important that you don't pull it too tight. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. This tail, it doesn't matter which way this tail is. You could leave it right here and it kind of will get woven in. I actually think I'm going to put it below because then when I weave, it'll actually kind of get woven in. All right, now this is the trickiest part. The next one is the one that has to alternate. I have to alternate. So if I went under this first one, do not go under again, okay? Absolutely do not go under. You want to go over that one and under this one. Over, under. So I started under, over. Now I'm going to go over, under, 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 and then pull it through. Now, how can I tell if I'm doing it right? Well, it better look the opposite of what you did the last time, right? So it should not be the same. When I push this up, it should look like I'm doing the opposite of what I did the time before, right? You should almost see almost like a checkerboard where it's going the opposite, okay? Flip it over, do the same thing. On this side, I have to double check and make sure. You can see, if you look closely, you can see that I went with my purple is under the white there. So I don't want to go under this time. I want to go over the first one and I want to go under the second one. That will be the opposite of what I did last time. And if you do it like this, you are weaving, okay? If you don't, you're not actually weaving and yours will fall apart. So you need to make sure that each time when you push it up, you did it the opposite of the other time before. So I can see that that purple one is under and this one's over. So I know I did that right. Okay, good job. Then we're going to flip it to the next side. This tail is kind of getting in my way. I think I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. I left a longer tail than I really needed. All right, next. So this one, if we look at this, that tail is going to confuse you, probably. So when I first started, you can see I was under, then I went over, so now I'm going to go under. Yeah, I'm going to do the opposite of the one right above. The other option is to use this plastic needle. Now I have had somebody in the past who just used their fingers. They didn't even worry about a needle, okay? They didn't even want to bother with this. And that works too if you're good at it. I kind of like this. I like to have something that's longer to poke through. So, all right, so I'm done on this side. I'm going to flip it over and then here we go. Okay, so one little tip, if you are having trouble getting yours threaded, you can take a small piece of paper, about this big, and fold it into half or into thirds. You need it to be thin enough that it'll fit through here, through the hole of your needle, okay? And then all you have to do is take your thread, lay it in there, kind of sandwich it in to that paper, And then the nice thing is this is kind of like a needle threader. So now all I do is just poke that through. Oops, like that. And it pulls my thread through. Okay, and then you can just keep reusing that. You can use that over and over. Okay, so that's just a little tip if you need something to help you thread your needle. When it's time to clean up, Mrs. Walker wants you to write your name on a piece of paper and put that piece of paper inside your bag. Everybody's going to need a Ziploc bag. Put your name inside there. Put your board inside there. If you're using one of these, you have to give those back to me because every class is sharing those. But if you're using the popsicle stick, you can just put that in with you, in with your bag. You want to make sure that your name is showing, so if it gets underneath, just make it so that we can see it, okay? If you've got yarn that you're saving, that you're using, you can wrap that around a popsicle stick and keep that in there with it, so you have it for next time. If you made a needle threader, put that in there, okay? And then this is going to go in the class bin for next week, okay? All right, have fun.